so this is January 2022. Estimate. So number 8a, part 1. The function f of x is 3 plus 5x minus x squared. Complete the table for the values of f of x, for the x values for the function. So all you're doing is substituting these values into this function. So where you see x, you put these numbers. So for example, when x is equal to 1, so yeah, when x is equal to 0, so the function of 0 is 3 plus 5 is 0 minus 0 squared. I work it out. 3 have nothing to work out. To remove the bracket, you have to multiply. So 5 by 0 is 0. 0 squared is 0. So it's 3. So you put 3 in the table here. When x is equal to 1, function of 1, 3 plus 5, open bracket 1, minus open bracket 1, plus bracket squared. So again, bring number 3, 5 by 1 is 5, 1 squared is 1, the negative sign is outside the bracket, so negative 1, take out 1. 3 plus 5 is 8, minus 1 is 7. So under the 1, we'll put 7. Then the next value you have to fill in first when x is equal to 4. So the function of 4. Three plus 5 minus 4 squared. So 3 plus 20, 4 squared is 16. This is 7. So we need 4, 7. And the last one is x is 6. So the function of 6. 3 plus 5 brackets put 6 minus in bracket 6 again squared. So 3 plus 30 minus 36. 3 and 30 is 33 minus 36. So subtracting keep assigning a larger number. Larger number in this case would be 36, which is negative. And 33 minus 36 is 3. So you put negative 3 here. That would be complete in the table. Now in the graph, write down the equation. Sorry. On the graph below, complete the graph. So in other words, you have to plot the points that we just had. So let me see if I can copy this. Image. Zoom out. Paste the graph. That's a little bit too big. So that should work. So in other words, when x is 0 on the graph, We're going to plot the value 3. I'll plot it in red for us to see it. So x is 0 here, will be up and down this line. The value 3 will be here. That will be the first point. When x is 1, the value is 7. So 1 on the x, come all the way up until it reaches 7. So if you were to label your points, this would be 0, 3, 1, 7. Then an x is 4, value 7 again. So you come up till you reach 7. So this is 4, 7. And when x is 6, the value is negative 3. So this is 6 here, so you come down to negative 3. 6 and 3. Now the question is to complete the graph. So you might have to draw a curve. So try your best to make a smooth curve. Connecting your points as much as possible. And we'll see this is f of x is 3 plus x, 3 plus 5x minus x squared. We have to say this is x, that is y. Write down the equation for the axis of symmetry. Now the axis of symmetry is where basically is the middle of the graph. Where do we get symmetrical lines on both sides? So try to draw it in purple. The line of symmetry will be down the middle here. That line, purple, not seeing it too well, so let me see if I can draw it in a different. So I draw it in a different color and I'll actually take that, right? So this line here is in between 2 and 3, which is 2.5. So this line will be x is equal to 2.5. So the line of symmetry for part B1 x is equal to 2.5. So anywhere on this line, x will be 2.5. 2. State the maximum value of the function. Now the maximum value is this point here, or the top of the curve. Right? Now, when you're reading the maximum value, it is not the maximum position, but the y value that you're trying to read. So in my graph, it should be here at this point, which is here is 9, so 9.2. So the max value or the y value is 9.2. Write down the coordinates of the point where the line y equal to 3 take away a half x crosses the x-axis. course is the y-axis. Now, what that is like we have simultaneous equation lines, right? So what we could do is use 2 points, substitute the x values to get the y values, and draw a straight line. And this will tell us where it crosses the x axis and where it crosses the y axis. So, and then we see in part D, they ask us to draw it on the graph. Right? So, just make a little more space. See, function is y equals to 3 minus a half x. Now, where would we expect it to cross the x-axis? If you were to put x as 0, you get y is equal to 3. So when x is equal to 0, we have y is equal to 3 minus a half by 0, which is y is equal to 3, minus 0, which is y is equal to 3. So if we were to plot that point on the graph, x is 0, y is 3. So that's here. Now let's use another point. Oh, sorry, that's not there. So x is 0, y is 3, that's here. Now automatically we can see that it intersects the curve, right? Just by using a random point, but we don't want to show them as a random point we use. So let's use another point. So let me say when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3 minus a half by 4, y is equal to 3 minus 2, a half of 4 is 2, so y is equal to 1. So at x equals to 4, we come up to 1, right? And then we draw a straight line passing through these 2 points and extending. Right? So that would be the 2 intersecting points. Now when you draw your graph, you need to extend the line past this way, right? Now, write down the coordinates that crosses the x-axis. Now, this is the x-axis here, right? So it crosses the x-axis as this point. So that point, the x value, this is 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8. The x value will be 5.8, right? And the y value will be 0. So the coordinate will be 5.80. Part 2, where it crosses the y-axis. At this point, it crosses the y-axis. So this would be when x is 0 and y, in this case, sorry, not 0, I keep saying 0. That blue line makes it more. Right. This will be 2.5. X will be 2.5 from the graph down here, right? And the y value coming across, now this centimeter line is 1, and then this next centimeter line is 2. So each one of these sublines is 0.2. So it will be 1.8. So it will be 1.8 and 2.5. And that will be where it crosses the y-axis. Not sure what I'm saying. I keep mixing up this blue line with this line here. This is the y-axis here, people. Sorry, I keep mixing it up because I'm not seeing it properly on my screen. Let me try to darken it. Get a mess of it. Now, this is the point of intersection on the y-axis. So the y-intercept. So now the line intersects at x will be 0. Say x value will be 0, and your y value would be 3.2. So therefore, your coordinate will be 0 and 3.2. Sorry about it. Again, I wasn't seeing the lines properly. On the grid of page 22, that's basically what we're drawing on. Draw the line. So I already drew the line. So this purple line is y, and we need to label it. Y is equal to 3 minus a half x. Using your graph, determine the solution of the equation. What does that mean? That means we need the coordinates of